Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Flicks on Popcross Studios. Today we're gonna watch as he turns Roblox door entities into SCPs. Let's hop in and start up this video.
On Monday, I finally have an episode coming out specifically about the narrator of my Things as SCPs series, Professor Dresden Oakland, but I figured before we got there I could try out a new SCPs topic, one that a bunch of my subscribers have been suggesting, taking monsters out of the Roblox horror game Doors and turning those into SCPs.
That would be cool.
Think it's a good idea, so let's try it out. Let's go.
And let
Hit
me
like
move over.
if you want, subscribe if you feel like, but either way, enjoy the show.
Let's start this up, Professor.
Good evening, everyone. I am Professor Oakland, and today, despite the alarming number of containment breaches we've been facing as of late, I must give an impromptu lecture to inform you all of a set of new entities we've discovered. Though new may turn out to be an inaccurate descriptor. 17 days ago, field agents discovered an abandoned hotel in a currently still classified location, following reports of local teenagers going missing within. The hotel appears to be from the early 1930s, and some evidence suggests it was once repurposed into an SCP Foundation containment site.
Oh.
We are still searching through our records to find proof of this, but given
Didn't say hospital. I like that.
some of the items found inside, it seems very likely the Foundation used this site for the purpose of containing multiple entities, which are still trapped inside to this day. The site is dangerous to traverse, both because of the free-roaming entities within and due to the fact that the doors inside act as portals that will not send you to the logical next room of the site, but to a seemingly random room of the hotel. Many of the entities found within are phantasmal in nature and would be difficult to transfer from this location, but thus far it seems all found there are currently trapped within the confines of the hotel.
Makes sense.
I apologize in advance if some of the information presented today seems vague, but as this is a new discovery, research is still well underway into these entities. Also, we have added these entities to a subcategory entitled SCP-R, because apparently we did not have enough arbitrary subclassifications as it was. Anyhow, I will begin with item number SCP-R410. Object class, safe. Special containment procedures. R410 is trapped within the walls of the hotel classified Site R-D. It is known to traverse the entire facility and has not been found to intentionally, harmfully interact with any field operatives sent into
Just about the number, you must encounter this guy most commonly around the floor 410.
investigate. Description: R410 rarely appears in a physical form, but when it does, it resembles a human male with night black skin and purple cubes shifting and breaking from its body. The entity cannot be directly looked at for long, as its body emits a type of visual noise, similar to a malfunctioning computer monitor or corrupted video file. Parts of its body have even been seen to break off and fall away before regenerating seconds later. While the entity has proven to be intimidating to encounter, as mentioned, it has not yet physically harmed any Foundation personnel to step inside the walls of Site R/D. The first field operatives inside did assume it to be hostile at first, as they stepped into a room, which itself appeared to have physical manifestations of computer-like malfunctions. The entity appeared in a swirl of floating purple cubes and ran at the operatives. They opened fire on the entity to no avail, but all it did when it reached them was touch them. This transported them to a different room of the hotel, and that was the last they saw of the entity for some time.
Ooh.
The current, overly optimistic in my opinion, assumption is that this entity is helpful in nature, and that it only appears when a human traversing the site enters a room that is undergoing an, as of yet, unexplained disturbance. The reason for the unusually positive assumption about this entity is due to the fact that it once returned an operative who had been separated from their squadron to the other Foundation personnel on site.
Not
Though,
bad.
since this occurrence, we have attempted to recreate the event, and a different entity appeared to regroup the field agents instead. It is possible that the entity itself does not want any intruders in the rooms it is residing in, but as it only appears for brief moments before sending our operatives away, we have yet to discover if this entity can communicate to try and gather more information from it. This log...
If this guy could talk, it most likely would sound like Mangle from FNAF 2. Oh, just a jumble of noise, just constant.
...will be updated when more information is acquired.
I love it. Oh, Glitch. That's his name.
Item number SCP-R401.
What's this guy called? Is this Seek? I'm not sure. I've never really played the game. I mean, I watch people play it, but I don't remember the names.
Object Class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. R401 remains in rooms on the first floor of Site R/D. If personnel are in this region and hear this creature's whisper, they must immediately look around until they locate it and leer directly into its eyes. Doing so will keep them safe from being harmed by the entity. Description: R401 appears like an enlarged, detached human head covered in black slime. It is commonly seen with 6 tentacles protruding from it, though this number can vary as its tentacles are amorphous in nature. It has glowing eyes and a large, usually grinning mouth full of disfigured teeth. Its mouth and lips are the...
I would think it would be hard for that thing to frown, considering... Okay, no, it could turn itself upside down. Never mind then.
...largest section of the entity not covered in black slime. The entity uses its tendrils to stick to the walls, ceilings, and floors of the site to pull itself around. It will generally stay in hiding until Foundation personnel enter a room it awaits in. It will then get their attention with a quiet whisper. Following that, it will wait for approximately 4 seconds, and if none of the operatives have found it and made direct eye contact with the entity, it will lunge at them and strike by either tackling them in the head or biting them. It can do significant harm and has put 1 agent in the hospital already. Luckily, the entity has not shown an interest in going for a kill. It seems to be more mischievous in nature, more so than inherently malicious. Since the first few incidents, our agents have known to quickly look around to spot the entity once they hear its whisper. When they do make eye contact before it can attack, the entity will cry out a sharp screech, then flee from the room. As this entity does have a physical form, it can be fired upon and has proven able to take some harm with bullets, though they seem to do little more than irritate and repel the entity. One other object has proven capable of harming this entity. In one area of the hotel, that we will discuss in a moment, it is possible to acquire a crucifix, classified itself as item SCP-R431. This can be hurled at R401, as well as a number of other hostile entities found within Site R/D, to create a glowing ring beneath them that is constructed from symbols that resemble the Seal of Solomon and the Islamic crescent moon. The significance of this is still being investigated. The symbol then spawns glowing chains around the entity. The chains pull them down into the circle beneath, and they will vanish, along with the crucifix, unfortunately, though it has proven to reappear in the very location it was first acquired in. With that said, we will next cover another entity that can also be found at the location of the crucifix.
Looks like we're heading to the shop next. Wonder who it will be. Yeah, maybe the eyes? Yes. Or will it be the little goblin? Oh! It's the goblin. It's the goblin. I forget his name, but I know he's a good guy.
Item number SCP-R425. Object Class, Safe. Special Containment Procedures. R425 remains in a room that can only be accessed after field operatives have gone through 51 prior doors. No further containment steps are required. Description: R425 is a reddish-orange-skinned humanoid entity that refers to itself as El Goblino Peque Carmine IV. The creature has glowing yellow eyes, a single earring on its oversized ears, and is clad in old red shorts and spiked bracelets. Strangely, its shorts have a tag sticking out the back, on which seems to be scribbled the letters XQC, but we have yet to discover the relevance of this. This entity
Quick, someone send out the map pad so we can get another theory going.
can speak fluent English, though does so with a Hispanic accent. Unfortunately, we've managed to get little information about the hotel from this creature, as it rarely answers questions directly and gets bored of conversing with our field operatives very quickly. After some brief exchanges, it will often explicitly state that it is no longer interested in conversing and will simply ignore anything said to it. While certainly frustrating, this entity has shown no signs of aggressions towards humans yet, and seems mostly interested in relaxing, finding ways to acquire gold or gems, and occasionally going inside the walls of the hotel to make sounds that may frighten those who are making their way through Site R/D.
He's a little mischief.
As the entity has expressed a strong desire for gold, we have attempted to bring in and use such coins to bribe it into telling us more about the hotel and its time inside, but even still, it has given us little information to go off.
Damn it.
Other methods of interrogation are currently being considered. R425 is not the only entity found once stepping inside the 50-second door of Site R/D. There is also a glowing-eyed, tentacled entity hiding in the darkness behind a repurposed bar. It was once thought to be R401, but has since proven to be its own unique entity that is not hostile towards our operatives, unless they attempt to steal from it, that is. This entity runs a sort of shop at which we may give it gold or other valuables in exchange for items such as the
I wonder if he's going to talk about Bob the skeleton.
crucifix. We believe the items at this shop were all used by the SCP Foundation in the 30s and 40s to help contain the entities in Site R/D, as many of them do resemble artifacts left over from the Foundation's work in this time period. The third, entity may be the wrong term, but in this room with R425, there is also a skeleton wearing a blue hat. R425 refers to this skeleton as Bob, and seems to consider the deceased human to be its friend. It is unclear if this skeleton is indeed an entity that has simply never shown our agents that it can move, or if R425 is simply mentally unwell. I'd wager a guess myself, but it is not my job to do so.
What if it was both? Now that would be a trick. But anyway, we'll have to wait for the next update of the game for that. El Goblino. Nice.
Finally, for today, we will cover the most inherently hostile entity found within Site
This one is called the Figure, I believe.
R/D, one which seems to even frighten R425. Item number SCP-R421. Object Class, Keter. Special Containment Procedures. R421 can most commonly be found in the hotel library. Any agents traversing the hotel are to bring with them a set of alarm discs that can create a loud wailing sound. If operatives find themselves in the library or any other room with R421, they are to activate these and toss them away to use them as distractions to lure R421 and give them time to escape. Description: R421 is a 10-foot tall humanoid entity. It seems to have no skin, revealing muscle and tissues, as well as some bones, including 6 large spikes that circle its torso, appearing somewhat like a second ribcage over its muscles. Its mouth,
or the ribcage, and I mean the as in only one,
is rounded and has rows of sharpened teeth. It has digitigrade legs like a hound, and lengthy arms with an extra set of joints, essentially giving it 2 elbows on each arm. The entity also has no eyes, and seemingly no ears, though its sense of hearing has proven to be very evolved. 3 of our first 4 field operatives to enter Site R/D were unfortunately killed by this entity. They found themselves in the library and promptly spotted the creature. As it appeared to look towards them, they opened fire, which did no harm to the entity and only drew it towards them. The entity immediately devoured one agent, then fatally wounded another. The remaining two hid and soon discovered that the creature could not locate them easily, even when they were clearly within what would have been its line of sight from across the room.
Oof.
They quietly made their way through the library, but found when they got too close to the entity, even when they stood completely silently, it was able to find them and devoured the third operative. We have
Damn.
since concluded that its hearing is advanced enough that it can hear the faintest breathing and heartbeat of any that tread too close. We have since had operatives attempt to acquire the crucifix from the room with R425, then use this on the entity, and well, the chains that spawn have proven able to very briefly hold it in place. R421 has shown able to escape these bonds soon after and continue its hunt.
Ooh, that's not good.
Because of this, we currently have no evidence that this entity can be harmed or killed, though it does clearly dislike loud noises. At this point, we have not yet witnessed any of the aforementioned entities attempting to escape Site R/D. It is our current belief that they are incapable of doing so, though we have yet to uncover why exactly that is the case. With the abundance of containment breaches we have been having lately, we will be taking no chances, and there is still very active investigation going into how we can ensure none of these entities do ever escape, as well as attempts to learn more about each of them and the history of this unusual hotel. Thank you for your time, and as always, please log any requests for future entities to discuss in the notes below.
I was actually just about to ask, what about Guiding Light? What about him?
Now this was fun, but there's admittedly not a ton of other designs I could work with indoors. Maybe we could squeeze a part 2 out of this, but I'd love to get other Roblox suggestions from people if you've got them. I know a few people have suggested that I work with rainbow friends before. Maybe that could be fun as SCPs or superheroes or, I don't know, whatever else. Give me whatever suggestions you got in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, I've got a whole bunch of Turning Things into SCPs episodes. The most popular ones are the Pokemon episodes. There's like 8 of those. Also, if you want the inks from this episode to color yourself, as well as over 500 other inks from the history of the channel, and access to the high-resolution art and the inks from every episode a day before the episode comes out, along with a bonus weekly podcast series, you might want to consider supporting the Popcross Studios Patreon. But besides that, that's all for today, except of course for ending this video on some kind of positive or inspiring note. And the idea I want to leave you with today is that rock bottom is a very solid foundation to build on. Hitting your lowest point may feel really painful, but it is also
That is actually a really good saying.
The best place to start building a new life for yourself. Whether that means working on a big project or career you've always wanted, finding new relationships that are uplifting and more suited to helping you be the person you ultimately want to be, there's nowhere but up to go from there. I hope that's inspiring to someone out there. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next one on Monday. Goodbye.
And even I have to say,
migraine.
That is a truly inspiring saying. Well, folks, that's where we're going to end off today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link will be in the description. And I'll see all of you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.